It's 2:47 a.m. Your body is exhausted. Your eyes are burning, aching, heavy. You've told yourself to sleep for the last 2 hours, but your mind has other plans. Suddenly, you're replaying a conversation from 3 years ago. You're wondering if that text you sent yesterday sounded weird. You're mentally rehearsing an argument with someone who isn't even in the room. And somewhere in the middle of all that, a random, oddly specific fear creeps in, like whether you locked the back door or whether your career is actually going anywhere. None of this happened during the day, so why now? Why does your brain choose the middle of the night, when you need rest the most, to open every drawer in your mind and dump the contents on the floor?
If this has ever happened to you, I want you to know something first. There is nothing wrong with you. This isn't a personal failure or a sign that you're too anxious or too much. This is one of the most common human experiences there is, and there's a reason for it. A very real, very human reason. Let's talk about it.
Think about your day for a second. From the moment you wake up, you are in motion. You're replying to messages, making decisions, smiling at people, even when you don't feel like it. Solving problems, managing tasks, showing up for other people's needs. Your brain is so busy doing that it doesn't have time to feel. Emotions don't disappear just because you're busy. They wait. And nighttime is the first quiet your mind gets. No tasks, no distractions, no one needing anything from you. Just silence. And in that silence, everything you didn't have time to process during the day finally gets its turn.
This is why the thoughts that show up at 3 a.m. often aren't even about anything urgent. They're not new problems. They're old, unprocessed ones, finally being handed the microphone. Here's the psychological piece that explains this so clearly. During the day, your brain runs mostly on what's called top-down control. Your prefrontal cortex, the rational, planning part of your brain, is in charge. It filters your emotions. It keeps you focused. It tells your feelings, not now, we have a meeting. But at night, especially when you're tired, that filter weakens. The emotional part of your brain, the limbic system, gets louder because the part that usually quiets it down is offline, resting, low on fuel. So it's not that your problems are worse at night. It's that your defenses are down. There's also something called the cognitive load theory at play. During the day, your mind is occupied, so intrusive thoughts get pushed to the background because there's no available space for them. But when you lie down and stop doing anything, that space opens up completely, and your brain, which hates unfinished business, rushes in to fill it. This is also connected to something psychologists call the Zeigarnik effect, the tendency for our minds to hold on to unfinished tasks or unresolved emotions more strongly than completed ones. That awkward thing you said last week? Still open. That decision you haven't made? Still open. Your brain doesn't like still open. It keeps circling back, hoping that if it thinks about it just one more time, it'll finally close the loop.
Except thinking about it at 3 a.m. never closes anything. It only keeps the loop spinning. Real quick, before we go on, if that explanation just made something click for you, that's exactly what this channel is for. Hit subscribe if you want more of these. Now let's see what this actually looks like in real life. Think about a time you had a small disagreement with a friend.
Nothing dramatic, maybe just a slightly off tone in a text. During the day, you brushed it off. You had things to do. But that night, lying in the dark, your brain replayed it in slow motion. Suddenly you're analyzing every word, wondering if they're upset with you, wondering if you're a bad friend, wondering if this means something deeper about the relationship. In the morning, it barely matters anymore.
Or think about the nights before a big decision, a job change, a breakup, moving to a new city. Your mind doesn't process that decision calmly during your lunch break. It waits until you're lying still, and then it runs every possible outcome, like a film reel that won't stop. This isn't your brain being dramatic. This is your brain trying to protect you, trying to prepare you for every possible danger, even emotional ones. Because on some primal level, unresolved threats used to mean survival risks.
Here's the part that goes a little deeper, though. A lot of us don't just overthink at night because we're tired. We overthink because nighttime is the only time we allow ourselves to feel. During the day, many of us wear a version of ourselves that is composed, capable, fine. We don't have room to feel sad in a meeting. We don't have room to feel scared while making dinner. We push feelings aside because life demands function, not vulnerability. But at night, when no one is watching, when there's nothing left to perform, that's when the real emotional weather shows up. The sadness you didn't have time for, the fear you swallowed, the loneliness you distracted yourself from. It's not that these emotions are stronger at night. It's that night is the first time all day they're finally allowed to exist.
That's why 3 a.m. thoughts often feel heavier and more honest than daytime thoughts. Because they are more honest. There's no mask left to wear. Here's what most people get wrong about this experience. They think overthinking at night means something is deeply wrong with them, that they're broken, too anxious, too sensitive, too much in their head. But overthinking isn't a character flaw. It's an unprocessed emotion looking for closure. Your brain isn't trying to torture you. It's trying to finish something it didn't get to finish earlier. The problem isn't that you think too much at night. The problem is that you don't have space to feel enough during the day. So, what actually helps? Not in a just don't think about it kind of way, because we all know that doesn't work. The most effective shift isn't fighting the thoughts. It's giving your mind a place to put them before bed. Something as simple as writing down what's on your mind. Even messy, unfinished sentences. Signals to your brain, this has been acknowledged. You don't have to hold on to it anymore. You're not trying to solve everything at 11 p.m. You're just telling your brain, I see you. I heard you. We can continue this tomorrow if we need to. That alone can quiet the loop, because the brain wasn't asking for a solution. It was asking to be witnessed. And maybe that's the real realization here. The thoughts that come to you at 3 a.m. aren't your enemy. They're not proof that something is wrong with you. They're the parts of yourself that didn't get acknowledged during the day, finally raising their hand in the quiet, asking to be seen. You don't have to fear those nights. You just have to understand what they're really asking of you. Not to solve everything at once, just to listen. A little earlier, a little gentler, before the silence has to do it for you. So the next time you're lying awake,
caught in your own mind at 3 a.m., maybe the goal isn't to shut the thoughts off. Maybe it's just to finally let yourself feel what you didn't have time to feel, so your mind can finally, quietly rest.
If today brought you clarity, our conversation isn't over yet. Click the video on your screen right now and let's keep healing together.